Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association. If you have a news topic or event that you would like to see covered, why don't you give us a call? The studio number is 970-677-4119. Today's show runs Tuesday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page where you can watch it on demand. Today is December 10th, 2019. And now the news at noon. Democrats in Colorado may pursue stricter gun laws, as reported in the Journal with a photo courtesy. Colorado Democrats are poised to make a bid for stricter gun policies during the 2020 legislative session. The move follows the passage of a red flag gun law in 2019 that allows a court to temporarily remove firearms from someone who might be at risk of harming themselves or others. The new law goes into effect on January 1st. At least a dozen Colorado counties have designated themselves, quote, Second Amendment sanctuaries, and said they will not enforce the red flag law because it violates the Constitution. The pushback hasn't deterred some Democrats from moving forward with other gun policies. A side note, that Dolores County, as per the sheriff's resolution, declared itself not to be affected by this so-called red flag law. You can research that position of each county's sheriff, which is higher than the state officials. It makes it so important to know your sheriff and who you're voting for in the election for the office. Representative Tom Sullivan of Centennial is entering his second year at the Capitol and got into politics after his son Alex was killed in the Aurora Theater shooting. Sullivan said that there are only 8 states that require the reporting of a stolen or lost firearm. The first thing he'd like to do is sponsor a measure to add Colorado to that list. Another proposal in the works from Democratic Representative Monica Duran would deal with safe gun storage. The Wheat Ridge representative is a domestic violence survivor and also wants to revisit the effectiveness of a 2013 state law that bars people who have domestic violence convictions or are subject to domestic violence protection orders from owning or possessing a firearm. Gun control bills have been politically controversial in Colorado. Back in 2013, 2 Democratic state senators were recalled over their support of universal background checks and a ban on high-capacity magazines. Sullivan faced an attempted recall effort after his first legislative session. Opponents cited his sponsorship of the red flag law, even though it was what he campaigned on. Bipartisan support around hot-button national issues is unlikely in a presidential election year. Republican Senator Paul Lundeen of Colorado Springs said it doesn't help when high-profile Democrats like former presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke say, "Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15. And some Republicans want to go into the opposite direction and loosen restrictions. Representative Lori Sain of Decano plans to again run a measure that would repeal the high-capacity magazine ban. But there are some areas of bipartisan agreement, especially centered around school violence, a topic that the state government has tried to address for years. Members of both political parties seem to be on board with more money for things like mental health resources in schools. The rest will be up for debate when the new legislative session opens on January 8th, 2020. And from the Journal's Montezuma Sheriff's report, a driver and his passenger escaped injury after hitting a cow Saturday night on U.S. Highway 550 just north of Aztec. According to New Mexico State Police, a 2008 GMC pickup driven by a 76-year-old man from Bloomfield was traveling south on Highway 550 when the vehicle struck a cow that was on the road around 5:45 p.m. near milepost 173, a couple of miles south of the Colorado state line. After the cow was struck by the pickup, the same cow was hit 2 more times on Highway 550 by 2 different southbound vehicles, a 2001 Toyota driven by a 36-year-old woman from Bayfield and a 2001 Chevrolet van driven by a 22-year-old woman from Aztec. A state police spokesman wrote in an email to the Durango Herald that the cow was killed. Other cows were on the road, but only one was hit. Quote, "It is undetermined why the cows were on the roadway." The spokesman wrote officers were on scene investigating the crash for over 2.5 hours. None of the drivers or passengers were injured, and seatbelts appeared to have been used properly, state police said. Alcohol and drugs are not suspected factors, and no enforcement action was taken on any of the drivers. The spokesman said that state police did not get any notifications that the road was shut down, just that the officers on scene slowed down traffic to warn other motorists. And reported in the Durango Herald, a new competitor for Representative Scott Tipton from the conservative side with a courtesy photo. Republican gun advocate Lauren Boebert has announced that her candidacy against Representative Scott Tipton, Republican of Colorado, hoping to bring conservative values back to Congress. Raised in a Democratic household in Denver, Boebert did not always believe in the sentiments that she preaches today. However, when she moved to the Western Slope at 12 years old and got her first paycheck at a McDonald's in Garfield County, she realized that she could do a better job taking care of herself than the government. Quote, "It's not always been an easy road," Boebert said Monday in an interview with the Durango Herald. Quote, "Being raised in a poverty mentality, you kind of were raised believing everything is a struggle, and it is, but there's hope in that struggle, and you have to have vision to get out of it." Boebert and her husband developed conservative values as a result, and she knew that, quote, failure and government assistance were not an option. She opened Shooter's Grill, a restaurant in Rifle, despite city officials dissuading her from doing so because other restaurants in the area were failing. Boebert said that after a violent night in the alley behind her restaurant, she realized she needed to begin expressly advocating for the Second Amendment. Quote, "There was an altercation in our back alley where a man was physically beaten to death, and it immediately prompted the question, quote, how will I defend my people? So I began to carry that day," Boebert said. A few weeks later, some of my waitresses asked if they could carry as well, and they already had their concealed carry permits and had their guns in their purses, and we all agreed that none of us were comfortable having our guns unattended in our purses in the back, so they began to carry as well. The people who dined in at her restaurant were not fazed by the guns since they also owned guns, Boebert said, and after researching Colorado gun laws, she became compelled to offer training sessions to teach women how to carry guns since, quote, gun rights were being stripped away. "I knew that we have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and if you don't have a way to defend your life, what good are the rest of your rights?" Boebert said. Along with advocating for the Second Amendment as representative of the 3rd Congressional District, Boebert said she will take advantage of the natural resources in the district, fighting those who try to regulate natural resources and lowering the cost of health insurance by, quote, allowing it to be sold across state lines. Boebert said Tipton is not the right person to represent the 3rd Congressional District, and she is confident that her conservative record will give the district the representation that it needs. Quote, "If Congressman Tipton was doing an effective job, I wouldn't feel the need to run," Boebert said. Quote, "But AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and the rest of the squad are going unchallenged. Conservatives want a fighter who will put these people back in their place and stand up for what we believe in, and I believe that over the years, I've been pretty darn good at that." Although Boebert only announced her candidacy recently, she has already received immense support, which she said was extremely humbling. It wasn't just a Second Amendment gun thing that had people hyped up, but people are giving whatever they can, $5, $10, and that tells me that a lot of them have probably never really donated to a campaign before, Boebert said. But there's something to believe in here. There's hope here that someone will actually take a stand for conservative values and fight the fights that need to be won. Boebert said she is fighting to restore Coloradans' values on issues such as gun access and prohibiting full-term abortions. She's tired of representatives shying away from these issues and remaining utterly silent, she said. And now let's take a look at our weather. Today, sunny with a high near 40 degrees, north-northeast winds around 5 miles an hour will be light. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 23 with east-southeast winds, again remaining light at 5 miles an hour. Wednesday, a mostly cloudy day with a high near 41. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 21. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 41 again, and Thursday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 26. Then Friday, warming up a bit, partly sunny with a high near 43. Friday night, mostly cloudy and a low around 24 degrees. And the weekend now is looking a bit dodgy. For Saturday, a chance of snow showers, mainly after 11 a.m. Mostly cloudy with a high near 40 degrees. And into Saturday night, a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 21. And repeat for Sunday with a chance of snow showers, partly sunny with a colder high just near 33 degrees. And Sunday night, partly cloudy with a chilling low around 12. And now back to the news. The Durango Herald reports on the Rural Economic Blueprint with an AP photo. Bridging the economic divide between the Front Range and rural Colorado could require millions in state investment for priorities such as transportation, renewable energy, and high-speed internet. Governor Jared Polis's recently released Rural Economic Blueprint called out infrastructure, energy, and healthcare, among other economic development investments that the state plans to support in rural Colorado. The governor's acknowledgement of the economic divide and commitment to extra resources for rural Colorado is valuable, said Laura Lewis-Marchino, Executive Director of Region 9 Economic Development District of Southwest Colorado. Quote, We are excited to have additional programming, grants, resources, she said. The plan highlights important goals and ideas, but it lacks details about implementation, said Miriam Gillow-Wiles, Executive Director of the Southwest Colorado Council of Governments. Quote, "There is no how we are going to get there by doing X, Y, and Z, and that's my concern," she said. The plan describes Colorado roadways as, quote, "the lifeblood of local economies," and acknowledges that Colorado has some of the worst rural roads and highways. To address the problems, the state plans to spend $110 million each year for the next 3 years on resurfacing rural roads and highways, the blueprint says. However, Colorado likely needs voters to approve a statewide tax increase to pay for needed transportation projects, Gillow-Wiles said. Voters have turned down 3 ballot questions in the last 2 years that would have increased funding for transportation by much larger margins and funded projects such as highway widening. Durango Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Jack Llewellyn said he would like to see a countywide tax that could be used to fix roads rather than relying on statewide ballot issues and questions largely decided by statewide voters. The vast number of voters up there on the Front Range decide what the rest of the state is going to have, he said. Llewellyn said he is interested in a use tax on vehicles to raise revenues for roads. While the revenue wouldn't be enough for all the area's needs, it would be a start, he said. The state aims to ensure broadband reaches 100% of rural households by 2024, up from 86% of households currently. It has set aside $5 million annually for the next 5 years to support the expansion of infrastructure, the plan said. Gillow-Wiles said that the current designation is a, quote, drop in the bucket compared to what is actually needed. High-speed internet infrastructure across southwest Colorado would require $75 million, she said. Investing in rural broadband is key to economic development because it can support business growth and remote workers who bring in dollars from outside the community that will then circulate as those employees purchase goods, she said in a previous interview. The state's goal to lower the cost of health care could bolster the southwest Colorado economy by taking financial pressure off of residents and businesses, said Monique DeGiorgio, the executive director of Local First, a nonprofit that represents independent businesses and nonprofits. The state has expressed support for the Southwest Health Alliance, a group working to lower health care costs for businesses and employers in this corner of the state. The state's blueprint commits to providing grants to communities like Durango that have set goals to transition to 100% renewable electricity. The state expects renewable energy to create new jobs and benefit communities across the state. The state set aside $2 million for planning and $10 million for implementation of renewable energy projects in communities statewide. If La Plata and Archuleta counties could produce just 10% of their own power, it could keep about $7 million recirculating in the economy, DeGiorgio said. And bighorn sheep in our area, as reported by the Journal with a CPW photo. Desert bighorns roam the cliffs and pastures of the lower Dolores River Canyon downstream of McPhee Dam, and Colorado Parks and Wildlife is seeking public input on their management. CPW has released a draft herd management plan for game units S63 and S64, which cover the middle and upper stretches of the lower canyon in Montezuma, Dolores, San Miguel, and Montrose counties. Public comment is sought through December and can be submitted via email to Montrose terrestrial biologist Brad Banulis. That's at brad.banulis at state.co.us. Population in the Dolores River corridor has stayed steady at 175 animals from 2016 to 2018. A gradual increase occurred since 2003, when an estimated 100 bighorn were in the canyon. From 1994 to 2001, the population had grown to 235, but in 2001 there was a sharp and undetermined decline in population. Since then, numbers have rebounded. Quote, the population is doing well, said Brad Weinmeister, a terrestrial biologist for Colorado Parks and Wildlife in Durango. Quote, we have been seeing healthy animals producing good lamb numbers. He said habitat is plentiful for the herd to expand, and that is the hope. No studies are planned, and none of the bighorn sheep has active radio collars at this time. Although bighorn sheep are likely indigenous, they were not present in the past century in the Dolores Canyon. The current population was established in 1986 with the release of 25 bighorn from Arizona. The Dolores River Bighorn herd offers limited ram hunting. For 2019, 5 ram licenses were available, 2 in S63 and 3 in S64. CPW said it might allow ewes to be hunted as the population increases. For guidance, CPW conducted a public survey involving 130 participants. The majority of respondents wanted to see an increase in the population and were satisfied with the current ram hunting opportunity, according to the draft management plan. CPW staff recommends a target population of between 175 and 275 desert bighorn in the Dolores River corridor. The plan explains that hunting restrictions allow rams to grow larger horns, and increased ram licenses would reduce average horn length and trophy quality. Desert bighorn sheep licenses are highly sought and are offered to Colorado residents only under a draw system. Hunting success is usually 100%. A bighorn ram tag is the second hardest to draw, behind drawing a moose tag. The Dolores Canyon desert bighorn population is relatively disease-free, according to the study, but transmission of domestic sheep diseases remains a threat. Domestic grazing on public land in the Dolores Canyon has not occurred in many years, minimizing the risk. Almost the entire occupied bighorn habitat is on Bureau of Land Management land, but some landowners in the area have sheep or goats that could interact with the bighorn. In addition to desert bighorn populations in Utah, the Dolores herd is near to Colorado desert bighorn populations, the Uncompahgre S62 herd to the east and the Black Ridge herd S56 to the north. Interaction between the herds have not been documented. However, canyon and rock rim corridors connect all of the herds, albeit across unsuitable habitat. The Uncompahgre and Black Ridge herds have known disease issues. CPW currently does not want to promote the possible connection of the relatively disease-free Dolores herd to the nearby herds. The report also notes that domestic sheep graze west of Gateway within 5 miles of the Utah line. The closest population of desert bighorn sheep to the Dolores River herd occurs in Utah along the Colorado and Green River near Moab. A bighorn from the upper Dolores reportedly wandered downstream to Moab and mixed with a herd in Canyonlands National Park. And by way of the Dolores River to the Colorado River, that distance was over 70 miles. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. Today is Southwest Colorado Gives Day, which is a regional champion of Colorado Gives Day. On Tuesday, December 10th, easily find over 70 local nonprofits on one secure online giving platform, swcogives.org. Whether you're in La Plata, Montezuma, Archuleta, San Juan, or Dolores County, they're making it easier to hashtag give where you live. Making your gift on December 10th ensures your donation goes towards a $1.5 million statewide incentive fund that is divided proportionally between all Colorado Gives Day nonprofit participants. Our local nonprofits like The Rock, reaching out to community and kids, would also like to remind you that this holiday season, if you are ordering on Amazon.com, be sure to use smile.amazon.com and select a nonprofit to support. Amazon will then donate 0.5% of the price of your eligible Amazon Smile purchases to that organization at no extra cost to you. And a reminder that this Thursday, the 12th of December, in Dove Creek, there's a workshop for business owners or those wanting to start a business. Starting a business or nonprofit can be challenging and uncertain. This course is designed to help you navigate through the steps you need to start a business or nonprofit. Join them for a 5-hour seminar on various aspects of starting a business with a vast variety of presenters, including a small business specialist, marketing expert, small business banker, insurance agent, attorney, and an accountant. Sounds like a joke. They all walked into a bar. Topics to be covered include business planning, legal structure, taxes, marketing and market research, financing options, and insurance. It's just $10 to sign up, which you can do so in the CSU office, which is in the basement of the courthouse, and lunch is included. It's supported by SBDC and our local DCTV, Dolores County Development Corporation, and it will be held at the Public Service Center from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And DCTV has their monthly meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, the 11th of December, and that runs from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the latest at the basement of the courthouse as well. And a quick plug for this Saturday's Christmas market at the Dove Creek Community Center. Stop by to visit with arts and crafts vendors all sorts of goodies you could pick up for Christmas presents, along with the Dove Creek Chamber's 2020 calendar, just hot off the press for $5. Local photos by local residents from all over the county. There will be music and a free kids craft decoration at the Christmas market. And the Sinclair Pulled Park sliders will be for sale again, and the Community Voices Gingerbread House contest will be showcased. You can also sign up on Saturday to be entered for free in the lighting decorating contest with a great gift basket prize and bragging rights. It runs from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Saturday the 14th at the Community Center, and then head over to the Triangle Park starting at 5 p.m. for a candlelight memorial for those we've lost this past year, and start from the park for a caroling night out. Everyone is invited to the great Home for the Holidays Dove Creek Day. We hope to see you there somewhere. I post up all of these High Canyon country happenings on our Facebook page, which is DCTV News at Noon, so you can look up the phone numbers, dates, and reminder of all the information, and we upload the daily news there as well, and to our YouTube channel, which you can search for with the same name, DCTV News at Noon, and subscribe there for free. We hope you enjoy our Facebook page, where we add links to stories of interest, share other events or news, and where you can join in on the conversation too. This is your local community TV station, so if you have something you'd like to share, contact us by email, dcbnnews@gmail.com, or you can call the station 970-677-4119. That's 970-677-4119. And coming up for 2020, we will also be revitalizing the news look and program, along with on-location live remotes, more interviews, more locally sourced news, and a new graphic look. We can't wait to implement this and look forward to your feedback. As always, thanks for tuning in. News at Noon now airs at noon Monday through Friday, weather permitting in some instances, and then is available on demand online to watch anytime. For Facebook users, we ask that you please like us there and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Thank you for watching.